Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video I'm going to be covering Mr. Freeze. Now, he made his very first appearance in Batman Volume 1, issue number 121, that was released in February of 1959. And although he has more than one backstory, for the sake of this video, I'll be concentrating mainly on his most current iteration. So Mr. Freeze's real name is Dr. Victor Fries, or as some call it, Freeze. And he's a resident bad guy of Gotham City who stands 6 feet tall and weighs 190 pounds, having blue eyes and has a bald head. Now, Mr. Freeze, who was originally called Mr. Zero a long time ago, has a high-level genius intellect, having a mechanical engineering and scientific mind that has developed technology that's on par with that of the alien world Apocalypse and the genius Lex Luthor. Being well-versed in a variety of different scientific fields has helped him develop a very specialized refrigeration suit that gives him moderate superhuman strength, stamina, and durability, while also keeping his body temperature below sub-zero levels, which is necessary for him to survive due to an unfortunate accident. This suit also helps him offensively deploy a quick freeze technology that he's developed, primarily using freeze guns and ice grenades to stop his enemies cold in their tracks. Now, it's ironic that the backstory of an individual that claims to not feel any emotions is so deeply tied in his love for an individual, specifically his beloved Nora. You would almost feel sorry for him, since it seems as if he spent most of his life looking for a cure for Nora so that she could be thawed out from her cryogenic state. But deep down, Victor Freeze is just a dangerous sociopath whose refusal to accept reality has transformed him into a major supervillain. Early in his life, his father would walk away from the family, leaving him and his mother alone in rough Gotham City. The two would move to Lowell, Nebraska, where his mother would slowly lose her grip on reality and end up sick and in a wheelchair. And while he was still just a boy, the ice would grip his heart, with him one day pushing his mother out onto a frozen lake and shoving her wheelchair into a hole in the ice. He would even push her back under as she tried to climb out, thinking it best for her to be frozen and quote-unquote cured of all her ills rather than to go on suffering. As he got older, his infatuation with the cold would progress, actually writing his doctoral thesis on Nora Fields, the first woman to ever undergo cryogenic stasis, who had died a while ago in the 1960s. He would become completely obsessed with her and would convince himself that they were actually married. He would go on to find a position and the resources to continue his work at Wayne Tower Laboratories, and would actually meet Bruce Wayne when he returned from his travels abroad during his time that he was training to be Batman. Yet Victor would immediately take a dislike to Bruce, and Bruce wasn't comfortable with Victor's research into reanimating frozen bodies, which would soon lead to him making the decision to shut this department down. But since Victor was infatuated with Nora, he refused to let Wayne take away his prized subject. In a laboratory confrontation between the two, Victor would get irate and throw a chair at Bruce, which would lead to the accident that doused him with the coolant and experimental materials that made his body the way it was. From this point forward, his body was no longer able to function at normal temperatures, and that's when he developed his refrigeration suit to ensure his survival. From that point forward, he would call himself the traditional Mr. Freeze, and he would arm himself with all of his freezing technology and a huge grudge against Bruce Wayne, now dedicating his life to destroying, or should I say freezing, everything that Bruce Wayne loves, including Robin and his beloved Gotham City. Over time, this would gradually elevate Mr. Freeze to one of Batman's greatest foes. Now, due to his powers and abilities and his influence on the DC universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Mr. Freeze a rating of 5, which is an enigmatic rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.